Tonight on Y News. The Manila International Airport Authority sets to deploy its own personnel to augment manpower at immigration counters in NAIA. The Bureau of Immigration faces auditing over issues of overtime pay. President Rodrigo Duterte orders the Armed Forces of the Philippines to occupy all Philippine territories in the West Philippine Sea.
Two suspected members of Islamic State arrested in Taguig City. The Philippine National Police warns the public against credit card fraud.
Y News begins now.
From the UNTV News and Rescue Command Center, this is Y News with Angelo Castro III and Darlene Basingan.
Good evening. The Manila International Airport Authority will deploy 90 of its personnel to the immigration section of NAIA this holiday break. Joe Anano will tell us why.
To facilitate the bulk of airline passengers flocking the airport, especially this vacation season, the Manila International Airport Authority, or MIA, has decided to deploy its employees to immigration counters to address the lack of on-duty immigration officers. MIA General Manager Eddie Monreal explains the additional manpower will help in assisting lines and other needs of passengers, except the stamping of passports.
Pero po yung masosobra po ron na mga taga-immigration, sila po ay, sabi ko nga, sinuggest ko na umupo na po sa counter para mapabilis po ang proseso ng mga pasahero.
Monreal says they have already requested additional manpower from the Bureau of Immigration Port Operation, who vowed to send additional 120 to 150 immigration officers in NAIA next week. Meanwhile, MIA and the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, or CAAP, assures the public that airports are ready for the expected bulk of passengers. Aside from tightening security and setting up of help desks, MIA will also take measures for the traffic flow around NAIA to avoid inconveniencing passengers. MIA will also strictly enforce the 2-minute drop-off time to prevent heavy traffic and long queues of vehicles. CAAP also says it has already addressed all the navigational concerns of airplanes.
We made sure that the navigational aids and guides were double-checked before magkakaroon ng issues on safety and disruptions. We also have intensified security surveillance and procedures as far as the airports are concerned.
MIA employees' applications for leave are cancelled. This is why the agency is confident of having enough manpower to accommodate the passengers who will travel this long holiday. Joan Nano, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasay City.
The Department of Budget and Management orders an audit in the Bureau of Immigration in light of the issue on the overtime pay of its employees. Manok Son will tell us why.
The Department of Budget and Management, or DBM, wants to examine the Bureau of Immigration after learning that overtime pay to its employees reaches to as much as 200%. Based on existing laws, overtime pays should not exceed 50% of the basic salary of an employee. The DBM says it might issue a notice of disallowance to the Immigration Bureau if found committing irregularities.
If you have a system like this existing, right, that they get paid about 200% of their basic pay for overtime. Okay. In fact, if you don't base it on the standardized rate, it's 400 to 500%.
The Budget Department cited as an example the comparisons between an immigration officer and a DBM analyst who both get a pay of 19,000 pesos monthly. Despite the same salary grade, the overtime pay of an immigration officer 1 can reach more than 38,000 pesos, a far cry from the only 9,000 pesos overtime pay of a budget and management analyst. The said system began during the stint as a BI chief of late Senator Miriam Santiago. The overtime pay of immigration officers are taken from the express lane fees at airports. The said system has been taking effect for more than 25 years, but President Rodrigo Duterte vetoed it. Budget Secretary Benjamin Jokno explains higher overtime pay for BI employees is unfair for other government workers. The DBM also plans to look into employees who pass the Civil Service Commission and if their salary matches the overtime pay they get.
I will request a financial audit from the Commission on Audit. Magkano exactly yung nabayaran dito sa tao na ito? So let's see whether we'll get the facts from both.
Some employees of BI meanwhile ask the government to understand their situation.
Maawa ka naman sa mga immigration officers. We are really working hard. You know, sa buong like this, April, December, and January, walang leave, no leaves. Our application for leave are allowed. So ito ho kami talaga, President, nagmamakaawa po kami sa inyo.
The DBM, meanwhile, is not worried if the BI employees push through with their resignation. The Department of Budget and Management says military personnel will be trained in case there lack immigration officers, especially at airports. The DBM says the decision to stop the said system is part of the Duterte administration's advocacy against corruption. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Department of Budget and Management.
Outgoing Interior and Local Government Secretary Ismael Mike Sueno admits he is hurt by the dismissal order of President Rodrigo Duterte. Leslie Longbowen will tell us why.
Hindi na po ako interested kasi hurt. I'm really hurting.
Outgoing Interior and Local Government Secretary Ismael Mike Sueno is not yet ready to talk to President Rodrigo Duterte after being fired. Sueno admits that he is hurt. However, he says he holds no grudge against the president.
Beginning pa lang ng cabinet meeting namin, sinabi niya na kaagad, I tried to answer, hindi naman po pinakinggan. Nung sinabi niya sa akin, I'm sorry, Secretary Sueno, I am dismissing you now. Parang lumiit talaga ako, no?
Earlier, a send-off program was held for the secretary. Sueno took the opportunity to defend himself from the allegations against him. Among these is the Rosenbauer fire truck project, which caused his removal from office.
Tinanong ako sa cabinet meeting, may natanggap mo ba yung legal opinion? Sabi ko, Mr. President, wala akong natanggap. So doon siya nagalit. It was Yusik Hinlo who requested the said legal opinion. Siya ang nagtanong, tinanong niya, babayaran ba na, what is the propriety of paying the Rosenbauer fire trucks when there is a pending case against it, no? Babayaran ba natin? So, ang sagot, when he received that legal opinion on 26 October 2016, he did not give a copy thereof to Sueno, nor inform the good secretary about it.
Sueno also has clarified other accusations against him. He says the hotel in South Cotabato is his brother's, while it is his daughter who owns the trucking business. The secretary says he has forgiven Undersecretaries John Castriciones, Jesus Hinlo, and Emily Padilla who alleged him with corruption. He has also thanked DILG employees for their cooperation and assistance to him. Meanwhile, he assures his continued support to the president, especially that he sees the president's eagerness to fight corruption. Sueno plans to go back to Mindanao and live peacefully as a private person. Leslie Longbowen, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Senator Antonio Trillanes IV has denied allegations that he paid a potential witness to link President Rodrigo Duterte to illegal drugs. Joyce Balancho will tell us why.
Noong December, andun si Senator Trillanes. Tapos nung time na ngayon, andun si Ma'am Dilima. Natatawa nga siya nung binasa niya yung affidavit ko.
Senator Antonio Trillanes IV answered the claims of Guillermina Arcilla that she was paid by the senator to testify against and damage the reputation of President Rodrigo Duterte. Trillanes presented a video to the media earlier as proof that Arcilla first approached them and volunteered an information against Duterte.
Sinabi niya na nakita daw niya sa may pier na may shipment daw may cargo shipment, tapos si Duterte daw mismo yung nag-check nung cocaine, tinikman daw. Sa kanya lahat ng galing yan. Okay? Pero hindi nyo narinig sa akin yan.
The senator said Arcilla was the one who asked for money, contrary to the latter's allegation. Trillanes camp doubted Arcilla's credibility and conducted a background check on her.
Basically, she did not pass the credibility test, so hindi siya nilabas.
Trillanes suspects Arcilla is a swindler who is used to extorting money from different people. He is also convinced that Arcilla's coming out to the media is a propaganda of the Duterte administration.
Itong grupo nila Duterte, alam niyo yung mga ganyang tactics, lahat ng dirty tricks, ginagawa na nila.
The president has not yet issued a comment to Trillanes' allegations. Joyce Balancio, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
The Anti-Money Laundering Council, or AMLAC, has denied the request of Senator Antonio Trillanes IV to see all the flagged or reported transactions of President Rodrigo Duterte. This is in light of his allegations that the president has 2.4 billion pesos in his bank accounts. The said accounts were allegedly undeclared in the president's statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth when he was still the Davao City mayor. In a letter, AMLAC said the senator's request is not allowed by law as it does not fall under the exemptions of the bank secrecy law. The agency added only cases of investigation of unlawful activity or money laundering offenses are considered exemptions. The senator challenged anew the president to sign bank waivers to prove that he is not corrupt.
Marami ka pang drama, marami ka pang arte. Pumirma ka ng waiver para malaman na ng taong bayan kung ano yung totoo. Pagka mali yung aking aligasyon, magre-resign ako sa Senado. Hindi lang yan, mag-walk-in pa ako sa kulungan.
The Office of the Ombudsman orders former President Benigno Aquino III to comment on the motion filed against him over the issue on the Disbursement Acceleration Program, or DAP. The motion was filed by Congressman Carlos Isagani Zarate following the decision of the Ombudsman to not include Aquino from charges in connection with the implementation of the controversial program. The Ombudsman released the said resolution on March 7, which absolves Aquino but recommends the filing of charges against his then Budget Secretary Florencio Abad. The former president is given 15 days to give his answer on the matter.
DENR representatives and operatives of the National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI, went to 4 mining companies in Zambales City today. June Soria will tell us why.
The Department of Environment and Natural Resources and the National Bureau of Investigation inspected ports of suspended mining companies that still conduct hauling operations.
Ang violation po nila, ito po ay pinapahinto na po, parang cease and desist ang pag-hauling ng lahat ng nickel ore na ito.
The soil came from the mountains of Santa Cruz and being brought to ports like in Barangay Binabalian, Candelaria, a private port owned by the Benguet Corporation Nickel Mines Incorporated. This nickel came from the town of Santa Cruz, Zambales. The DNR says this proves that despite the suspension order, there are some mining companies that still operate. DNR's partner in the effort are the Philippine Army and Philippine Coast Guard. NBI immediately ordered the drivers of several trucks in Barangay Yabot to descend. The NBI also seized their keys and disarmed the security guards. The truck drivers were arrested and will face inquest proceedings in the provincial capital of Zambales.
They are considered arrested and they will be subject to inquest.
According to Benguet Corporation Nickel Mines Incorporated Executive Director Boots Alcantara, the raid was illegal.
When our people asked the NBI and the DNR for the mission orders, they could not present anything. There was no mission order.
Alcantara claims the raid was unauthorized.
We have appealed this to the office of the President. We filed an urgent motion, and by law, the effect of the order of the 2 million fund is stayed, meaning we can continue on a status quo basis.
The company is planning to file formal complaints against the raiding teams. Jun Suriao, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III insists that now is the best time to invest in the economies of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN. During the ASEAN Finance Ministers Investor Seminar in Cebu City today, Finance Secretary Dominguez says the country needs massive investments in order to attain the single market and production base under the ASEAN Economic Community. He says among the various benefits of investors are a strong market of 600 million people and a 300 million strong labor force.
Our governments are convinced that globalization is the way to progress. Our economies have much to do for rapid expansion, beginning from the massive infrastructure build-up that will bring our region increased efficiency.
President Duterte orders the armed forces of the Philippines to occupy all territories of the Philippines in the West Philippine Sea. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
President Rodrigo Duterte plans to go to Pag-asa Island on Independence Day to wave a Philippine flag there. Pag-asa or Kalayaan Island is one of the disputed territories of Philippines and China. Aside from this, the president also ordered the AFP to occupy all island territories of the Philippines in the West Philippine Sea. He says he aims to assert the rights of the country over its islands.
9 or 10 islands there, we have to fortify. I must build bunkers there or houses and make provisions for habitation.
The president says he's also ready to release money for the development of the islands. He is also determined to strengthen the Philippines' assertion of its rights over the Benham Rice, which is in the northeastern part of the Philippines.
That development there has my full support. Gagastos ako dyan sa fortification dyan. Because I want to, including the Benham Rice on the right side of the Philippines and the Pacific, I will officially claim it as ours and rename it, call it the Philippine Ridge.
The president also plans to replace the vessel Sierra Madre, which run aground the Ayungin Shoal.
Atin man yun. Palitan ko ng luxury liner yun. May mga waiter, pagkain, swimming pool, para ang sundalo, tatabang.
Meanwhile, according to maritime law expert UP Professor Attorney J. Batongbakal, President Duterte's statement seems confusing because there's no island left to occupy. The country also submitted a complaint to which the International Arbitral Tribunal decided against China. Batongbakal also argued that the president seemed to be contradicting his own statement not to provoke further tension between the Philippines and China. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
A Kuwaiti and a Syrian national were arrested by authorities in Taguig City. Roderick Mendoza will tell us why.
Two suspected members of terrorist group Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, or ISIS, were arrested in Bonifacio Global City last March 25. They were identified by the Bureau of Immigration as Hussein al-Dafiri, a Kuwaiti national, and Rahaf Sina, a Syrian national.
An end above reference based on the confidential information obtained from the Colonel Omar al-Qadari and Major Hamoud al-Kabandi, both members of Kuwait Security Service. Rahaf Sina, Syrian national, is identified as the widow of one of the ISIL leaders in Iraq who got killed during combat operation. It is believed that she used to be the wife of Abu Jandal al-Kuwaiti, the number 2 military commander for ISIL operating in Syria. Based on their tradition, a widow of their killed comrades will be taken care of by the living members by marrying the said widow.
Likewise, intelligence reports by the Armed Forces of the Philippines stated that Al-Dafiri is involved in explosives manufacturing and is possibly planning an attack against Kuwait. Immigration records indicated that this is the third time that Al-Dafiri entered the country using a tourist visa. Meanwhile, Syrian national Rahaf Zina, who claimed to be the wife of Al-Dafiri, is allegedly the widow of ISIS top 2 commander Abu Handal al-Kuwaiti. No contrabands were seized from the suspects when they were arrested, but they failed to present documents and will be charged for violation of immigration laws. They are currently undergoing deportation proceedings. Secretary Aguirre says the Kuwaiti government has requested for Al-Dafiri's deportation back to them because he is facing charges in the country. Rahaf Sina will be sent back to her port of origin in Qatar. Immigration officials also confirmed that the suspects visited Davao City and Cebu City last January. Security officials are verifying if they made contact with local terrorist groups in the area. The suspects are being held inside NBI detention facility under tight security. Roderick Mendoza, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
President Rodrigo Duterte says the leftist group manipulate the militant group Kalipunan ng Damayang Mahihirap or Kadamay to do illegal activities. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
President Rodrigo Duterte identifies the leftist group or the Communist Party of the Philippines being behind the movement of the militant group Kalipunan ng Damayang Mahihirap or Kadamay. Kadamay members forcefully occupied more than 5,000 government housing units of the National Housing Authority in Bulacan. The president made his statement when he visited the AFP Western Command in Camp General Artemio Ricarte, Puerto Princesa City, Palawan.
And I would want to make first the report that yung pabahay ninyo inagaw kasi ng mga pobre rin kagaya natin. But those are the guys na ginagamit ng left. And they are into such anarchical activities.
Senator Antonio Trillanes also said the same thing.
Nakaka-receive ako ng information from the security sector na itong Kadamay ay front organization ng mga komunista. So, kung totoo yan, may security implications yan kasi meron na silang isang community ngayon na sanctuary ng mga komunista.
Meanwhile, President Duterte once again asked the military to let the Kadamay members occupy the housing projects. He also promised fully furnished housing units for the uniformed personnel of the AFP and PNP, which the government will build for them. However, the president also warned those who are planning to do what Kadamay members have done in Bulacan.
Hindi na sila magkaulit kasi next time that I will build the houses for the police and the pabantayan ko na ng 5 M60 pati basuka. Pag unang entrada pa lang, bitawan mo na. Nagpapasensya lang ako kasi may rin yan.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
The PNP Drug Enforcement Group arrested another foreign national in a buy-bust operation in Pasay City. Grace Casin will tell us why.
After 3 weeks of surveillance, the authorities nabbed drug suspect Juno alias Justin, a Korean-American national, in an operation yesterday in Pasay City. Recovered from the suspect were 140 tablets of ecstasy. He was among the PNP's list of big-time drug traffickers.
We will be charged today for violation of Section 5, which is trading, administration, dispensation, delivery, distribution, and transportation of dangerous drugs.
Based on PNP's findings, the confiscated tablets of ecstasy were locally made. Each tablet has a selling price of 3,000 pesos. Director Mijares believes that suspect could have established a network of customers since he were traveling to Cebu and Manila in the past 3 years.
He is a part of a group and we are still in the process of conducting follow-up operations doon sa other other members of this syndicate.
According to the PNP, demand of party drugs is usually high during summer season when occasions are very common. The PNP DEG assures that they're continuously doing surveillance against high-value targets and narco-politicians. Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
The executive judge of Las Piñas City Branch 201 has denied the bail petition filed by Police Superintendent Lito Cabamongan, the police officer caught on Shabu session last week. Joyce Balancho will tell us why.
Police Superintendent Lito Cabamongan will have to stay in detention after a court in Las Piñas City denied his petition for temporary liberty. Las Piñas Assistant City Prosecutor Attorney Paul Michael Mejia said they received an endorsement letter from Regional Trial Court Branch 201 that indicates that Cabamongan's bail petition has been rejected.
Based doon sa records kasi yung notation doon sa endorse namin, yung attachments doon kasi no application for bail ay machine copies. So, yun yung reason na ginamit. Bakit din nila yung application for bail nila?
Cabamongan was arrested last week after being caught using shabu in a shanty house at Barangay Talon 4 in Las Piñas City. He refused to be interviewed earlier after he again tested positive of shabu as indicated in the confirmatory drug test performed by the PNP Crime Laboratory. Today, he attended the continuation of the preliminary investigation of his case without a lawyer after Attorney Norberto Malit filed a withdrawal of appearance. During the hearing, the arresting officer submitted a reply to the suspect's counter affidavits. Tomorrow, the Las Piñas City Fiscal's Office will conduct its final hearing on Cabamongan's case. Joyce Balancho, UNTV News and Rescue, Las Piñas City.
The Bureau of Jail Management and Phenology or BJMP's request to transfer the Zamboanga City Jail might soon be granted. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
Zamboanga City is expected to relocate its penal facility soon. This after the local government's announcement that it has already found an area where to build a new facility that address jail congestion. There are currently 2,000 inmates in the Zamboanga City Jail compared to its ideal maximum capacity of 800.
To meet a very urgent need. And this to me is more urgent. In the meantime,
local officials give BJMP a 6-hectare land in the Barangay Talisayan for the construction of the more than 194 million peso worth facility. However, the jail warden of the Zamboanga City Jail opposes the plan. He says the new location is far from the city and the City Hall of Justice, making the prisoners at risk of danger when they are needed to be brought to courts for trial.
I think it is not advisable if we're going to put that, considering we have also Abu Sayyaf group in our jail.
The local government is now waiting for the decision of the BJMP headquarters on the issue.
In good faith, the local government unit would like to comply with our commitment to provide an area for them, granted that the amount that is given to them will need an appropriation to be utilized.
Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
President Rodrigo Duterte is expected to certify as urgent the anti-contractualization bill. Nel Marie Buhok will tell us why.
Committee Vice Chairman and Representative Raymond Mendoza revealed that President Rodrigo Duterte is in support of the proposal to scrap contractualization in the country. In fact, the President is set to certify as urgent the anti-contractualization bill as a result of their meeting with the President in February.
In that meeting, he said directly na i-certify niya ng HB 444, that's a security of tenure na bill ko.
Based on House Bill number 4444 or the Security of Tenure Act of 2016, all forms of contractualization and fixed-term employment will be totally prohibited. The proposal also prohibits the removal of employees without valid reason. Violators might face a fine of up to 5 million pesos and imprisonment of up to 12 years. Also, the lawmaker says they are not satisfied with the Labor Department's newly released policy on contractualization, which Mendoza notes does not address the problems of the labor sector. Meanwhile, Kabayan Party List Representative Ron Salo opposes the provision in the bill on the security of tenure.
because I believe it should always be performance-based lahat. Kung ano yung pananatili mo doon sa posisyon, depende yan dapat doon sa performance na ginawa mo.
Dole Secretary Silvestre Bello III previously said he has no authority to stop all forms of contractualization. Bello notes only Congress can do so by passing a bill addressing the matter. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
The PNP anti-cybercrime group warns the public against credit card fraud. Grace Casin will tell us why.
Authorities explain that there are a lot of schemes to get the information of card holders.
Maraming mga sources yan. It can be through the employees of the call center. It can be through web phishing. May magte-text sa'yo, you want to avail a credit card for lifetime free of charge. Kaya yung mga resibo natin kung saan lang natin nilalagay.
This is why authorities remind card holders to always check if the card number in receipts are always the same. It would also be better if the card holders will be the one to swipe their cards at terminals, while those who want to have a credit card should directly transact with the bank. This morning, the PNP anti-cybercrime group arrested suspect Gabriel Macay during an entrapment operation. Macay was caught pretending owning a credit card. He was asking the bank to change some information from a certain credit card holder. Macay also registered himself as an authorized person to claim the new credit card. But before claiming it, authorities were able to arrest the suspect.
Yung nahuli natin ay gusto niyang papalitan yung address ng legitimate depositor. So sabi niya dun sa sa call center, papalitan yung bagong card kasi lumipat siya ng address.
Authorities will file appropriate charges against the suspect. Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
Skin experts advise the public to not disregard simple rashes in their bodies. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
The huge and reddish rashes occurring in several parts of the body are called urticaria, hives, or welts. Experts from the Philippine Society of Allergy, Asthma and Immunology Incorporated say 1 in 5 people have urticaria, which recurrently occurs if not treated. Urticaria is not contagious but can be inherited. Rona is a part of a family who has history of having allergies. At the young age of 8, Rona was found to have urticaria.
Yung sa dad ko, nagtitrigger pagkain, food allergy. Sa mom ko naman, sa lamig din, cold or urticaria din. Yung ate ko, meron din siya. Since dito naman sa atin sa Pilipinas, hindi naman common, hindi usual na magpunta sa mga doktor.
Experts advise people with urticaria to consult their condition to allergists or doctors of skin allergies.
Urticaria is multifactorial and one of the known cause is allergy. Allergic reaction to food, to medications, to pet danders, no, yung mga dog hair, cat hair, and also to inhalant allergens, no, yung mga house dust mite, cockroach.
The World Allergy Organization is now pushing for information dissemination about urticaria. This has been the primary topic focused on in this year's World Allergy Week because of its health risk. Experts advise against self-medication because of the danger it poses.
So it's really worth finding out kung saan po kayo may sensitivity through the allergy skin testing.
The University of the Philippines, Philippine General Hospital, USC Hospital, and Fidel Mundo Children's Medical Center are open to the public for free skin test. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Eastern Visayas and Caraga region will experience light to moderate rains due to the effect of the tail end of a cold front. Isolated light rains are expected in northern and central Luzon. Metro Manila and the rest of the country will experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Temperature in Metro Manila today recorded at 31.2 degrees Celsius. No tropical cyclone is seen to affect the country for the rest of the week. Residents in some part of New Zealand still struggle to recover even after the onslaught of Cyclone Debbie. Greg Panganiban will tell us why.
Cyclone Debbie continued to cause major damage as thousands of people evacuated to the top of New Zealand's North Island on Thursday to escape burgeoning floodwaters. The Bay of Plenty towns of Edgecombe was evacuated after the Rangitari River burst its banks, flooding dozens of properties. According to TVNZ, the town's population of 2,000 was told to leave, and the defense force has been deployed to help.
We had to evacuate. The house is totally flooded now. We're not sure how bad it's going to get. I just got a frantic call from my partner to come home, so I shot over the bridge, and then we had a lot of help from those fellas over there in that riverboat road there.
Got a lot of people still in houses at the moment, but we're getting to them. A lot of the locals brought their equipment in, just really helping out, but yeah, it's all going good.
Scores of roads were closed or blocked by landslip across New Zealand's North Island following 2 days of heavy rainfall. The effects of the Category 4 storm are still being felt in both countries more than a week after it pounded Australia's Queensland state. Greg Panganiban, UNTV News and Rescue, Auckland, New Zealand.
Coming up, anger burns on Vietnam's poisoned coast a year after the worst chemical spill in the country.
And families and friends enjoy this year's colorful hot air balloon festival.
More from Y News after this break.
A beach located in Morong, Bataan is becoming popular for Filipinos and foreigners alike. Nina Armilio will tell us why.
Around the world, I've searched for you.
Many Filipinos find the hot season a perfect time to go on vacation, to bond with family and friends by going to their favorite vacation spots. Morong Star Beach Resort in Bataan is especially visited for one-of-a-kind dive spots found there.
I've been to many dive sites all over the Philippines. Usually deep. This one, medyo shallow lang siya. Hindi siya masyadong malalim. Pero sobrang ganda yung nakikita.
This is an excellent experience. Really warm waters, beautiful, really good visibility, nice areas to life, and the corals are outstanding.
What's more, divers can be sure that there is proper guidance in scuba diving, with professional dive instructors from the Professional Scuba Diving International or PSI.
Nakita ko yung mga professional na instructor na tumutulong sa mga anak ko, sa bilang ama nawala yung kaba ko dahil alam ko nasa mabuting kamay yung mga anak ko. Hindi nila pababayaan o mapapahamak yung mga anak ko. Kaya I love PSI.
Guests may try various water sports activities like the flying fish, banana bus, and of course, island hopping for a more memorable vacation. Morong Star Beach Resort is located at Sitio Panibatuhan, Morong, Bataan, Philippines. For resort and hotel reservations, just visit Morong Star's website. Nina Armilio, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Families and friends enjoy as colorful hot air balloons fly anew in Lubao, Pampanga. Leslie Longbowen will tell us why.
This is the fourth year of the much-anticipated annual Hot Air Balloon Festival. The event showcases colorful hot air balloons in various eye-catching shapes like heart, octopus, and rooster. First-timers in the event are overly amazed, such as actor Jano Gibbs and his family.
I'm lost for words kasi ang ganda ng view, ang ganda.
Kahit kanina pa kami picture dahil sobrang ganda sa camera.
Yes. Maganda yung mga picture ng Instagram.
Sharon and her friends traveled all the way from Negros Occidental just to experience the festivity.
It is our first time to be here and it's really an opportunity for us. And ang sarap ng feeling.
Okay dito dahil may yung mga senior citizen. Merong libreng sakay. Ang ganda experience.
A total of 37 hot air balloons joined in this year's festival, 18 of which are from several countries in Asia, Europe, and America.
Yung first day natin, we have more people now than our first day last year. Meaning we're getting better and we're growing.
The Department of Tourism says the event is a way to improve the tourism industry not only of Pampanga but of nearby provinces of Central Luzon as well.
Lalong-lalo na itong mga room accommodation natin, yung restaurant natin, yung public transport system natin, nakikinabang dito.
About 100,000 tourists are expected to attend the 4-day festival. Leslie Lombowen, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Those are the reasons behind the news, April 6, 2017. I'm Angelo, Castro III.
Reasons we delivered to you as they unfold. I'm Darlene, Basingan.
Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Thank you for watching Y News.